Welcome back to the channel. Good news over at Delta, and Thai Airways has provided an update on US flights. Into some good news, however, which is always lovely to see in an industry which has had so much happen in the last 5 years. Delta has published its half-year results reflecting its quarterly performance, which actually shows improvements. See, quarterly revenues totaled USD 16.6 billion with a reported profit of USD 2.1. This represents quite a staggering 63% increase from the same period 1 year prior. The figures for the quarter ending June 30 were all above expectations, and now the company's shares have skyrocketed as confidence once more reignites. Delta's better than expected profits now give greater confidence that it will achieve its full year forecast, remembering that some doubts had already emerged over the last half year about whether this was even feasible to continue with. Delta says that travel has stabilized and the US economy is beginning to be more solid than it has been in, say, the last 6 months. A massive positive for the US company, among other parties as well. For the airline, the ability to now say it's confident it'll reach its forecast follows just a handful of months ago when the same forecast was actually, believe it or not, withdrawn, and this was due to weakening outlook and the internal belief that Delta would not be able to hit the targets it had set out for itself. Other key metrics for Delta across the quarter and the first half of the year were revenues from premium seats, which continued to soar as passengers opted for more luxury on their journeys. The revenues generated from higher paying customers also helped mitigate some of the softer demand for its lower price tickets. However, despite this, Delta is also aware that trends show drops in travel to specific locations during certain times. Even if this is on a seasonal basis, it means the US carrier still must make changes to its network to optimize the assets it has available for use. One of the biggest headlines of 2025 has been the persistent trade tensions between nations that have followed a changing in administration. For the aviation industry, and therefore companies such as Delta, this has posed a risk for their long-standing relationship with aircraft manufacturers like Airbus and their ability, therefore, to acquire new planes. See, across several points this year, Delta aired some concerns about its long-term ability to continue partnerships with Airbus if tariffs were to worsen. The airline confirmed that it may even be forced to go as far as cancelling orders and suspending the purchase of future aircraft from foreign manufacturers due to the costs that would be incurred. These are costs that would simply make the purchase not worth their while. However, for Delta and Airbus, this would be a worst case scenario, and while it would be devastating, it is yet to occur. It's simply the US carrier being hesitant and taking a very cautious approach about what could happen. Over to the final story, and it's an update on Thai Airways. You may recall they were granted a Category 1 aviation safety rating from the Federal Aviation Administration in April of this year. The move meant that Thai Airways would once again be able to launch flights to the United States. This long-touted goal had previously been impossible due to limitations in the safety rating. The safety rating change occurred 10 years prior, in 2015, when the Bangkok-based company saw its safety rating downgraded to a Category 2, which impacted its own ability to serve the US. The landmark decision handed down reopened discussions about a prospective return to the United States in due course. But that speculation has now cooled. We're speaking at the Reuters Next Asia Summit. The airline CEO confirmed that flights to the United States were not currently on its radar. Thai Airways faces several limitations in making this a reality for the moment, and notably you'll look towards the fleet, which is not yet equipped with the necessary aircraft to cover the long distances required to make this possible. However, it is not just fleet limitations that prevent Thai Airways from launching non-stop flights. Trade and other tensions are also making this market more of a challenge to enter, and risky as well for their business. Despite these comments, it doesn't rule out an eventual possible return for Thai Airways towards the US, but it means that at least for the moment, such a move has been ruled out for several critical reasons, and certainly looking in, it'd be hard to blame the airline for feeling this way. Fleet limitations are huge, but they feel it's just too much of a risk to be flying towards the United States with the current economic situation. Remembering that Thai Airways is a company which has only recently exited restructuring. On top of that, it is also an airline trying to rebuild its business following the COVID-19 pandemic, add capacity once more, and move forward in a positive manner. Very keen to hear your take down below in the comments on any of the stories in this video. Take care, do be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your latest industry recap.
and we'll fly.